All right. Yep. Another game down to the wire. We're kind of getting accustomed to those. I think there's some things that we can certainly do to make sure that doesn't get to that point. But we always talk about finding a way to win. And as many times it maybe looked like we weren't, we did. And the guys, I guess the biggest thing I'm proud of is the response, starting early in the week. Today, there's things I think that happened because of the way they came ready to practice, whether it was just a response Sunday after we got together and kind of talked over the truth of what we had happen a week ago. And then Tuesday, just back to work. So, very, very unified group that understands that there's still so much more we can get better at. I think, we talked a lot about different things that South Carolina would do that would, be tougher matchups for us, areas in the strength of their team that were maybe different than a week ago. And that's the way it's going to be every single week. And so we knew that up front, they were going to be stout, and thought we did a nice job with a balanced attack most of the time. Obviously, when we tried to force the issue and got into some longer situations or tried to press the ball down the field, especially at the end of the first half, that backfired on us. But, defensively, got to the quarterback. We have 3-4 sacks, I think it was, and, three takeaways. And that's, always an emphasis, continues to be an emphasis, and proud of the way the guys came through with those. We had 3. Did we have 3 or 4? 3, yeah. I couldn't remember if the interception was the 4th or the 3rd. So, just proud of the way the guys fight. The onside kick. We talk about our thought process and being 1-0 and focusing on the next play. And I use it from day one about the ball being a funny shaped object and bouncing. We just need to go grab it. It seems pretty simple, but obviously that didn't happen. So the guys are trying, great effort on it, but found a way, a defense, go out there and attack, be aggressive, and put them in a tough spot there on the last play.
Thanks, Coach. Start with front row on the left with Nick.
Yeah, the touchdown to Jeremy, as far as the decision to call that play when you need the first down, what went into that? And then also, was any thought put into potentially going down and not scoring a touchdown so you could kneel it out there?
Yeah, we knew we had to get the first down, just really with how much time was on the clock. We didn't have the timeout, so there's a risk-reward, right, on those calls. We're just right on the edge of what would take to kick a field goal. Field goal makes it a difference, as far as what they got to score. So a lot of components, a lot of things that are involved in what we try to do. And there was a lot of safe avenues and things that we discussed on that play. And I think that they were aggressive in trying to play a lot of those. And, just like a lot of our concepts, there's a deeper route. And love that Jalen saw it, because I think that's a lot of times early in the season. We didn't maybe see those things, but him and understanding the offense, just his familiarity. And then just making the throw, making the catch. And, again, that's finding ways to get it done. So proud of those guys on that execution. Obviously, that was a huge part of the win.
Go to Chase all the way back on the right side there.
Open a drive, 4th and 1 on your own 34. You go for it. You get the 2-yard sneak with Milroe. Were analytics saying to go there, or were you bucking analytics in that situation?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty confident they were saying to go. So it's always, pretty much the analytics say any 4th and 1, you should go for it. So, but yeah, we were, and just felt confident with the tempo, and we really haven't done much of that. So even them just seeing what we would line up and how we would run it, the first time, that was something we were pretty confident. We work on it every single week, later part of the week, and I thought the guys did a nice job. A big part, obviously, in getting some momentum. You hate punting on the first drive when it's 4th and 1. So great job of the guys executing, something we hadn't really done this year.
Front row on the right, Charlie.
Yeah, hey, Coach, just what went into the decision to kind of wait and call a timeout with 11 seconds there before the half?
Yeah, I mean, I trust our guys, and that one, obviously, I was, the points they got at the end, at the end of the half there hurt us. And, I'm thinking if we can get one play to where we can throw it in the end zone on 4th down and the clock ends with us having the football, I'm all for it, and Worst case scenario, you take a sack or something, you have to punt it. I don't like punting, really anytime, but, that was to me the worst case scenario. But, I guess I'm always just aggressive that way. And you try to weigh the risk reward and put the trust in the guys, things we talk about. That'd be something, obviously, me and J Mill, Coach Sheridan, we'll sit and talk about. And just when we're in that moment and we want to keep the pedal down and try to give ourselves another play, I'm looking for anything. Pass might be defensive pass interference. It could be anything that gives us one more play. We've seen crazier things happen, right? And so that's just the aggressiveness I like to have. Now, we'll talk about the trust, and I think the guys appreciate when you put the trust in, but we have to learn from those things when they do happen, because obviously they got 3 points of it. 3 points out of it. It's probably the last thing I was thinking about when it did happen. So,
Steven, second row, left.
Coach, what does it say about Damani's toughness? Got the injury there earlier in the game, but to come back and had the game-sealing pick, just Damani's toughness.
Yeah, it is. And I think he'll be fine. Obviously, he was back out there, so the guy wants to go out there. He's had a great season so far. He's someone we got a lot of confidence in, and we wanted to just use him at the right times, the right moments in the second half when those times came up, and again, finding a way to pull it down and concentrate on the ball. And kind of most people would look at it as an easy pick, but you got to still be there and you still got to make the play. So definitely proud of the fight that he had and wanting to be back out there, considering he did go down earlier in the game.
Katie, front row, right.
You had some penalties today that extended drives for South Carolina, the one that set up the safety for y'all. Just kind of what's it going to take to clean up the penalties?
Yeah. I mean, it's penalties. We're striving for zero. And that's what we're trying to do, and we emphasize it. Every situation is a learning one, and we're going to talk about that. Like, we have to read body language of what's happening. I haven't seen it, so what I say may just be totally not correct. But the understanding is that when he comes across the field, I know what his responsibility is, but when he's coming across the field, he doesn't hear a whistle. You just got to kind of at some point have a sense of where what's happening in front of you, and if your guy has slowed down or anything like that, when you hit him. But I know the ball wasn't that deep into the end zone. I thought we might even field it and bring it out. I think it was a late decision on whether we were going to do that and let it go. So, it wasn't something where he's egregiously trying to go out and get a penalty. It's just more of a matter of reading what's happening in front of you and instinctually knowing that the play, is a touchback. And so again, that's something I'm sure I'll see on film and understand. How close was it? I think by the letter of the law, yeah, probably a penalty, right? Ball's touchback and all that. So we can't have it. We can't do it. And, that was one that hurt us because it put us in that situation for the safety. So just those plays kept feeding on each other, the small things, which that's a big thing, but the small things add up, and we find ourselves in a fight till the end.
Let's go up the middle with Emily Grace.
Coach, what would you attribute the struggles the defense is facing on third down to, and where do you want to see some improvement there?
What were we? 7 for 15. They were 7 for 15. I think they had 5 on one drive, right? 4 or 5, something like that. I remember talking about it on the sideline. And so the rest of the half, 2, right? 2 for the rest of the game, 2 for 10. Is that right? I'm just doing rough math. So you can't have 5 of them in a drive, right? And I think there's just just that desire to find a way to make the play. I'll watch the film and we'll all understand what happened on a lot of those. They were in some good situations on some, but I remember the ball they caught over the middle was advantageous for us as far as the down and distance. And that's the one where you really got to get off the football field. And those are hard to convert just from an offensive side, and they did. So, a lot of the game I felt like we were doing a solid job. Can't say we were doing a great job, but that drive certainly coming out in the second half set the tone and made it hard for us the rest of the game. So we got to start a little faster when we come out. We talk about the middle 8 going into the locker room, coming out. They got the ball, and then they had those points at the end of the first half. We just got to do a good job of starting fast, in the middle part of the game, and then obviously finishing. I think we did some things on both ends, but we got to do a good job there before going to the locker room, taking that momentum in.
Time for 2 more questions. Let's start on the right with Tony.
Hey, right here, Kalen. It's probably easier said than done in the moment, but had Jeremy gone down at the 1 yard line, the game's
Yeah.
over. Do you talk with him about that? And the same kind of thing with maybe Damani at the end of the interception. Do you
Yeah.
talk about, hey,
Yep.
just kneel it?
Yeah, we have all those calls in. We practice them every Friday. That was honestly, I'll just say that you try to make them aware that they don't have any timeouts. That's a situation. And so we'll talk about that. Those are things that hit us. The one with Damani, I just talked to him about it, and again, this is where we learn. We learn, and what his mindset is I'm going to run out the clock. And so true, right? But we all understand all we got to do is go down and take a knee, and so those are just things that we got to continue to learn from. Fortunately, nothing happened at the end there, whether it's an injury or obviously even something else to where there's another play, something freakish happens. So, just continue to coach, continue to teach. You talk about those things and you think that everyone's good, just take a knee in the end zone, understanding there's no timeouts. We knew that. But then he comes out with that, and that was the last thing I expected him to say. But love the kid, love the play, and, we'll learn from it. So.
Finish up with Colin, far right.
Hey, Kalen, over here. You mentioned that 16-play drive, the one with the 5 third down conversions for South Carolina. Do you sense opposing offenses kind of continuing, the long drive narratives, like the ones where it's just, it seems like they're doing everything to keep the ball in hand, 9-minute drives, long scoring drives? Do you see that continue from? Was it similar to what Vanderbilt did to you guys? Do you see a similar approach of opposing offenses?
I think these two offenses we face are more built to have just drives that continue to have plays stack on top of each other. I know they got the explosive on the 4th down against our coverage with the ball down the sideline, and I think it took the safety out of the picture there, but I think it fit more of them and, the running back, quarterback, guys that just kept moving the chains 3 yards, 4 yards, trying to get in those 3rd and 1s, 3rd and 2s, convert, slants or something like that just to keep the drive alive. But, I can't say that they are or aren't. But, obviously it's frustrating when they can put 5 third downs together, and then you start wearing on your defense again. They're out there a long time, and the longer the drive happens, the better chance they have of obviously scoring.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you. Roll Tide.
Jalen, what was the mindset you had going into the fourth quarter after what happened last week?
I think, it was so important throughout the whole game. It's all about finish and maximize every time we had an opportunity to put in display our offense. And I think that was so important, especially in the fourth quarter, because it's all about finish. That's when you can really implement the finish mentality, and I think that was so important.
How quick is it to have a short memory? Throw the pick, but then you respond. You talk about finish, but how big is that with the whole team, especially with, they got the touchdown, then they stop the 2-point conversion, finish?
I think that's the biggest thing about playing a position. Of course, you have plays you want back. Even if I didn't throw a pick, there's always a play I want back throughout the whole game. And it's all about bouncing back and then maximizing any play that you have. The mistakes are going to come. That's the best thing about football is that mistakes allow you to learn and grow from it. And so I can definitely say that the mistakes that I've had in football, that does give me an opportunity to learn and grow as much as possible. So it's just a great learning moment.
And talk about the play to Bernard, the touchdown. What did you see?
So it's all about reading it out. It's a play that we repped throughout the whole week, and that's and it was all about reading it properly, just having great eye discipline, and allowing our playmakers to make some plays in space. And Jeremy did a good route on his good job on his route, and I just gave him a chance on the ball.
What's it like being on the sideline? You don't have control over the outcome when you're on the sideline the last few seconds.
I think it's when you talk about team, that's a great example of just finding a way as a group. To just cheer on whoever's on the field, and just everybody just buying in. And I think that's so important, especially when the defense is on the field. Offense should be encouraging them on the field. Special team, no matter who's on the field, it's all about the encouraging aspect of it when we're off the field. And so it's all about trust factor too. And then we all have the belief in whoever's on the field.
Did you have any conversations with the offensive line, your offensive line, about maybe quarterback protection, especially with South Carolina's edge rushers?
So you got to factor into this week. We definitely got to acknowledge, the opponent we've had. But that was a great defense that we just played against. They have really good, 2 great pass rushers that they had. They're definitely good players, and it's something that we just try to prep against throughout the whole week. So, beyond today, we had a whole week of preparation. I thought that was so important when it came to pass pro, when it came to their stunts, their blitzes, how they rush up the field. It was all about our game planning as far as, managing and understanding who our personnel was that was on defense. So, communication was so important on the sideline throughout the game with the offensive line, so we're on the same page.
On that track, how do you think that you dealt with the multiple looks, pre-snap setting protection?
Yeah, so each play, the requirement of the quarterback, you do your best and try to get our offense in the right position so that we can be successful. And so, of course, they're going to disguise, they're going to give us looks that we haven't seen before with our preparation. That's what they should do. And so, on my end, it's so it's just a factor for us just to always try to do what's best. And, at my position, just trying to, make sure that we're in the right check, the right pass protection, and having great eye discipline. And so I think that's something that we need to do as much as possible as far as offensive line, the quarterback, just having a great communication. I think that's something we did a really good job with Parker and myself, just communicating and to make sure that we're on the right track.
This season, what do you feel like the biggest strength of the offense is, and where do you want to see some improvement?
Biggest strength, mental toughness. I think finishing, despite anything that goes on in the game, I think mental toughness is so important beyond talent because, we have a board that says TNT, takes no talent. And it takes no talent to have, that's something that we just try to have is mental toughness, grind, refine, compete as much as possible throughout the whole week. And then when we have games, just being our best us and doing our best on that, whatever that game plan or whatever that call is. And, one sign that we all want to do is that the first sign of improvement is acknowledging that you need to work hard and acknowledging that you need to improve. And so that's what we have in our locker room is guys that's, that's always looking to get better and learning and growing as much as possible because, we have a long season ahead of us. And through games, that's our first test to another opponent and allow us to gauge where we're at and also just understand, where we're at as far as, communication and also just putting our best us on the field. So I think that's awesome for us to just not look back and just reflect and just be able to build.
Going off of mental toughness, after everything that happened last week, the noise from everyone talking about this team, how proud are you of the guys for how they responded and took this team's best punch? Very proud. I think it's very hard, as far as a group, to really come together when there's hardship that that takes place. And I think we did a really good job just refocusing. It's definitely hard for anybody, when you have something like that take place. But it's all about refocusing and understanding what our short-term goals, long-term goals was for us as a group. And so I think leaders did a really good job with stepping up, being a vocal leader and also leading by example and just refocusing us on the path that we want to, get to. And, the mission is still the mission and all our goals are still the goals. Now it's all about following those, all of our goals by how hard we work and the mindset that we have.
Can you walk us through the last play of the first half? What was the message from Coach DeBoer after the timeout, 10 seconds left? What was the goal with that last play?
Yeah, I think, it was for us to manage the field, cut the field in half, and just executing the play at hand. I got to do a better job with having great eye discipline, great details, and managing the field, and definitely something that, I need to do a better job at, having better ball dominance and details. But no, I think it was just executing the play at hand, just cutting the field in half.
What does that DeBoer trust you to make those he's very aggressive in those situations. What does it mean that he has that trust in you to kind of make those plays, though?
Number one thing you said was trust. I think that's something that I appreciate about Coach DeBoer so much, the trust factor and the belief he has in me. It's always vocalize, his belief in me is greatly appreciated from my end, especially when you have your head coach that believes in you each and every day and always has your back, despite anything, despite your failures, despite anything. He's always has my back. So as a quarterback, I'm greatly appreciative of him.
Can you speak to the fact that for the most part, South Carolina took away the vertical pass game, and how patient did you have to be? This is the first time Ryan's gone without a touchdown.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they game plan just like we game plan, so they definitely see how explosive we are on offense. So that's that was definitely something that they saw from us, is that how explosive we are in the vertical game. And so for them to acknowledge that just shows that, they acknowledge, where our strength is. So
That was a great job by them. Got to credit, South Carolina for their preparation, their grit, how well they played together, and they're definitely, a great opponent, a great defense that we just played against, and I'm definitely got to acknowledge, who we just played against and how hard they fought.
How patient did you have to be with that?
Oh, 100%. You definitely got to be patient because there's so much football left, and there's so much time on the clock. And so when you have this time, it's all about maximizing every opportunity, despite any play call or especially in the passing game. It's just doing my job, just having great eye discipline, and just distributing the ball to our playmakers.
Did you feel like you missed some chances on deep balls, or were there just no chances there?
Missed them. There's definitely opportunities where I could have give our receivers a chance. Definitely opportunity. There's a lot of left on the field, and so that's what the beautiful thing about football is. There's so much opportunity. Now we can refine, and reflect on this past game, and then boom, we can move forward from it. But just always acknowledging that there's areas where we can attack the football field with the proper guidance, and that's what we have with our great coaching staff. That's going to pour everything into us so we can be the best offense we can be.
Jalen, you talked the last 2 weeks about having these big learning situations. Are they stacked on top of one another, or were there similarities today in what happened against Vanderbilt?
I think each team that you play against is different structures, and each team we play against is unique in their own way. Everyone's strengths are not the same. Despite any opponent we have, West Kentucky's, their strengths is different than USF. Their strengths is different than South Carolina. So each week you learn so much, and that's something that we acknowledge, that each opponent that we prepare for, they're going to give us a different look. South Carolina didn't run the same structure, strength defense as Vanderbilt. So that's something for us when we have this week with game planning. It just understand, who's the personnel, what are the things that they like to run in certain situations, and just us gauging that, understanding that, and just trying to do what's best for us on offense.
Jalen, you mentioned your focal point this week in practice for you personally?
Personally, get better. Overall, just be the best quarterback I can be for this team. Just continue to just guide and lead the guys in the locker room, because we have so much football ahead of us, and as long as we have the right mindset to continue to grow as a group, we're just going to be right on our way. And so that's just something I acknowledge from this group, is that we have a great locker room that all.
All right, Jeremy Bernard, you got 10 minutes.
Jeremy, on that your touchdown catch, was there any thought going down so you just kneel it out, or what was going through your head in that moment?
My job was to catch the ball. I wasn't worried about anything else but to catch the ball.
What was communicated to you, though, by your coaches about that?
We just called the play, and we executed the play. They didn't say anything about getting down to me, so I just went and scored the touchdown.
Jeremy, you're getting more and more comfortable in this offense. Can you just talk about what's feeling good and what you looking to improve upon and just going forward and things of that nature?
Yeah, I think we played a great game. As an offense, there's obviously more work we have to do. We can execute better, and stay on the field. On the long third downs. We shoot ourselves in the foot when we do that. But as long as we execute, and play the game that we're supposed to, we'll put a lot of points on the board.
What are some lessons you could take from this win now heading into Tennessee?
Just playing the whole 4 quarters, not playing one half or playing one quarter. We have to show up every single quarter, show up every single play. And like Coach says all the time, going 1-0 every play, be perfect every play. And like I said, it just comes down to execution. And if we execute properly, we won't have any issues.
Jeremy, what was the message from the coaching staff when you guys, after the pick in the end zone, you're down 19-14, did you get it back? What was the message to you guys?
Just continue to stay focused in the game. Just continue to execute at a high level. Coach said that we'll have a drive to go down and to be able to score, and that's what we did.
Is there a special challenge to be able to catch the ball when there's nobody around you?
I think it just takes focus, and we practice on that every single day, and at the end of the day, that's my job to do, is catch the ball. So when the ball is in the air, that's what I have to do.
I know you said it wasn't brought up, but now in the back of your mind in that situation, are you going to be thinking about maybe going down at the 1, just given the circumstances, I guess,
Yeah, I mean, now that I know, I mean, next time I'll have that in the back of my mind and to be able to do that next time we're in that situation. I mean, hopefully we're not in that situation no more.
Jeremy, what's your instant reaction to this performance, given all of the noise that was made through the week?
I mean, like I said, it's a great team win. We don't really focus on the outside noise. We try to keep it internal. And, you know, we have a brotherhood, and we know what it takes to win. So we just have to continue to work hard each week, each day, and, you know, prepare as well as we can.
What went through your mind when that play was called on third down? I mean, it wasn't just trying to get the first down. Like, it was kind of going to the jugular, so to speak. What went through your mind?
If the ball comes my way, I got to catch it.
It looks like you go with a different Bible verse on your eye block every week. Just what's behind this one?
So, I mean, I get my strength from the Lord. Everything I do is to glorify the Lord, and, you know, I try to spread His message each week if I can, and, you know, just be able to bring other people in because He's always searching for our hearts. So, just being able to spread His message and be able to use, you know, my platform to do that, I try to do that each week.
How have the past 2 games really been a prime example of anything and everything could happen in the SEC?
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about adversity. I mean, we knew it would come, and it just depends on how you respond. So, I mean, we responded well this week, and, I mean, we'll just continue to fix things in practice that we need to and go out next week and play a better game.
Coach DeBoer always says he likes to be aggressive, and, you know, we saw that in the touchdown to you. We saw it going, you know, calling that timeout with 10 seconds left in the first half. Like, what is it like when you have a coaching staff that is as aggressive as they are in some moments other coaches might not be?
Right. I think it just comes with trust and building that throughout practice and you know, throughout the week. We put ourselves in hard situations, and we just continue to prepare as well as we can. And Coach DeBoer has a lot of trust in us, and I mean, shoot, we just got to go out there and execute.
How did you see Jalen kind of bounce back and shake off from some of the mistakes he made earlier in the game?
Jalen played a great game. He continues to be optimistic. He's a true leader, and, you know, we always have his back no matter what it is. So just for him to continue to thrive throughout the game, I mean, that's what you look for in a QB.
You've seen him kind of turn to you, you know, almost more and more as the season has gone on. How do you two just kind of develop chemistry as a quarterback wide receiver?
I mean, obviously, we practice all the time and throughout the off season, but I think it's more of you know, off the field and just being able to connect and just being able to build that relationship, so that does translate on the field with the trust part.
What was it said about, you know, Damani Jackson taking a hit like that when he come back and making the game sealing hit? Like his toughness out there.
Man, so we always talk about going 1-0, like I said, and, you know, he's a tough DB. He's a great DB, and, you know, he's very relentless, and he was able to come back the next play and make the play that we needed.
What was the conversations or message at the end of the half? Obviously, trying to score again, that things kind of don't go the right way. What was the kind of message at halftime after that?
Yeah, just come together, continue to fight the second half. Just continue to be relentless, continue to go 1-0, and we knew that we had confidence in our team that we was going to come out victorious.
Hey.
What's going on?
How you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good.
What did you think about the game?
I think the game, you know, was definitely in our hands. The whole game, you know, we could have been way more disciplined in our execution and, you know, reading our keys. And I think preparation was very great, you know, leading up to this game. And, I mean, at the end of the day, we came out 1-0.
You said you could be much more disciplined. What's the key to being much more disciplined going forward?
Just really, you know, just like the little things and making sure we're reading our keys better. Those type of things, you know, are the controllables that we can control.
How challenging was it dealing with the mobility with Norris and Robbie Ashford?
Well, you know, those guys are run-first quarterbacks. You know, we definitely have been prepping for that, you know, during practice last week or so. And, I mean, you know, our main objective was, you know, to get them to the ground.
How do you feel like the defense responded to last week's performance?
I think, you know, that game is in the past. I don't really want to think about that game. You know, our main goal was to keep on fighting in practice, you know, the start of really Sunday for real. leading up to this game and for the rest of the season.
What does it say to respond? You guys responded a few times, picking the end zone, then you responded with Milroe, interception after. What does the respond mean to your team?
It means a lot. I mean, we're Bama, and that's what we do. Just keep on fighting. And I mean, we're Alabama, like I said, and we always face adversity every day, even in practice. So that's the biggest piece. And just having poise in those moments and really being familiar that we've been in those type of moments before, and just keep on fighting.
Damani went out of the game and came back in and had a huge play for you guys. What does that say about his character and toughness?
Damani's a great guy and a great piece of our success on defense. And everybody, we just love to play with Damani. He plays with grit, he plays with toughness, eye discipline, all those things.
It looked like you were playing a little bit of Wolf today. Has that been part of your repertoire the last couple of weeks?
Yeah,
what do you like
definitely.
about that, or how do you like it?
I definitely like, I passed rush in high school, so
yeah.
I think I'm a natural born pass rusher at heart.
Were you shocked the way this game kind of unfolded, and these kind of close games help prepare you for playing against a top-ranked team going on the road next week?
It's the SEC. We always going to get everybody best. We Bama, and going forward with these SEC teams, we're just going to keep on preparing with a certain high level of intensity and preparation, so we can come out with the W every week.
How difficult is it to be ready to play Wolf and inside backer?
It's a lot, but when you put your mind to it, when I put my mind to it, I feel like I can do anything. And, that comes with the coaches and those guys helping me understand the scheme and, just going out there and flourishing my talent.
What does it take to maintain third down success, and how confident are you that you guys are going to be able to figure that out?
Say it again?
What does it take to maintain third down success, and then how confident are you that you guys are going to be able to kind of figure that out as the season goes?
Really just being disciplined. Everybody doing their job and executing. That's the main thing.
What are those conversations like on that long drive as they convert third downs in a row? What are those conversations like on the field?
We can control what we can control. So if there's something on our end, okay, cool. We're going to talk about it as players, as coaches, as a whole team, and get it right the next time and just keep fighting.
Have you had any conversations with Kane Womack, maybe you and Deontay, on how to continue to improve the defense, especially getting those third down stops?
Definitely. Like I said, just really executing whatever call Coach Womack has for us on third down, getting off the field so our offense can execute and score.
I got 4 turnovers today. That's an area where Ken Walman's really been emphasizing. What was your perspective on getting the ball out?
We need more. I think we could have taken way more shots at the ball. Myself, I could have taken way more shots at the ball. But that also just comes with, just looking at film and preparing like a pro and, just moving forward.
There was some talk, I guess, heading into the game about getting the calls in faster. Did you guys get the calls in faster? Were you more comfortable with how you guys were getting the calls in on defense?
Yeah, everything was pretty fine.
What was your perspective of Damani on that last play?
I wanted to take a knee, but, him just being the ball player he is, he had his eyes on the ball, caught a pick for us, and, just took the game away.
It seems like he might be overlooked in the secondary. What do you think about that?
Say it again?
It seems like he may be overlooked with the rest of his secondary members. What do you think about that?
Damani, he comes in every day, head down, and just work. He's not the type of guy to do all the rah-rah talk or nothing like that. He communicates with the guys, he have fun with the guys, execute the call, and he just go play ball.
With this game coming down the wire, how big is it with DeBoer being cool, calm, and collected compared to maybe the past?
I think, it shows his character, being poised. And, along with the whole team, like I said before in the interview, his energy rubs off on the whole team, obviously, because he's the head coach. And, I think he's doing a very great job with that. And, we all appreciate Coach DeBoer for that.
Were there elements of last week that kind of helped you prevail this week, having gone through on the losing end, and then were you able to kind of use elements of last week's game to kind of help you in a tight game this week?
Somewhat, and some different offensive plays that they had and that they ran, that Vanderbilt ran. But I think most of it was just us just playing Bama football and just understanding that, this is what we do. We got to go out there, execute the call, and play fast and physical.
What was the message after they got the onside kick? Because that's a quick change. You got to get right back out there and make it stop. But you guys really seemed to attack them to close it out. What was the message from the coaching staff when you got back on the field?
Just so what now what? It's a very tough situation, a very quick turnaround. But, you got to get back on the field as a defense, and you got to stop them guys.
Tim Smith was pretty disruptive today. What did you see on the field?
Yeah, that's Tim. You hear him. That's Tim, man. I just want to point out, you know, he's a very great leader for us. You know, he always give us message, you know, for everybody on the team. You know, he could pull a guy to the side and talk to him, all the younger guys too. I mean, he's a great role model. You know, I even look up to Tim Smith.
Sorry you've already been asked this, but on the last 2-point try that they overthrew, what did you see on that play?
On the last what?
On the 2-point try at the end that they missed, what did you see on that?
I mean, just a lot of people moving around the quarterback. He ran to the side and tried to find an open guy, but he couldn't get it. You know, Quandarius, he was over there to stop him.
All right, Jahad, thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Good job.